what do you want people to do in getting involved with Gulf Citizens United?
Well, I think several things. First of all, as we disseminate the information about the impact of this, we would like for them to make their voices heard. Certainly, they can write letters to the editor, to newspapers and entities outside of the state of Louisiana. I feel like we're preaching to the choir here. But as they are impacted by this, directly or indirectly, let that voice be known personally to these media organs out there. And secondly, we are trying to raise some money to get the message out, and they can make some small contributions or contributions of any size to us to help get the word across. That would be very helpful. Thousands of years ago, Moses, the leader of the Hebrews, stood before the Pharaoh, and he said, "Let my people go." And right now, we in Gulf Citizens United feel like we need a strong, unified voice to let the President, let Secretary Salazar, and the regulatory people in Washington know that it's time to let our people go down here. Let them go back to their jobs, let them keep their jobs, let them support their families, let them pay their taxes. We're hardworking people in Louisiana. We don't want handouts. We don't want unemployment compensation. We want to continue to do what we've done well for 60 years, and that's supply the nation's energy needs, a heck of a lot of it coming right there from the Gulf of Mexico. We want to get back to doing that work.
There may be an attitude among some people that if we've got, what'd you say, maybe 10% people unemployed, what's that work out to in millions? 15, 20 million people unemployed? What's another 100 or 200,000 people out of work?
Another 100 or 200,000 people out of work, another 100 or 200,000 people who become a drain on the national economy, who are going to have government help when they don't want government help, who aren't going to be able to increase the energy supplies of this country that we greatly need increasing, so we don't have to depend on those foreign energy supplies. It's personal stories of tragedy if that happens to them, when it's not necessary to do it. We can drill safely in the Gulf. We can, certainly we've had a long lead time to put in whatever safety requirements that they want to put in. We went 60 years out there without having an incident like this, and I can assure you that we can go a long time in the future with this never happening again.
One thing that strikes me, and I heard this at a recent rally or moratorium, a group talking about these issues, and it makes perfect sense to me, is like if there's a moratorium on deep water drilling because it's not safe, yet these rigs are going to other places in the world not to drill in shallow water, but to drill in deep water. Why is it okay to drill in their deep waters and let them get the economic benefit of it, but not here? It's not going to be, in one place they're going to be drilling in 2,000 more feet of water, 7,000 feet of water versus 5,000 feet in the Gulf. So it's safer for them to drill in 7,000 feet of water than it is to drill in 5,000 feet. It's okay there, but it's not okay here. I think things are screwed up.
Well, I don't think there's many other nations, if any other nations, that put strong safety and environmental regulations and requirements on offshore drilling like the United States does. Did somebody go asleep at the switch? In one particular instance, perhaps so, and that needs to be dealt with. It needs to be dealt with the folks who caused the damage. It needs to be dealt with the folks who oversaw the drilling of the folks who caused the damage. But, to shut an entire industry down, I mean, you've heard the analogy and I've heard the analogy. Plane crashes are terrible things, but when there's a plane crash, it's investigated. But you don't stop planes from flying and have the devastating effect on the economy that you'll have if you do that because there's a plane crash. We can do the drilling safely. There's no sense sacrificing these jobs. There's no sense sacrificing the energy supplies that this country needs by continuing this moratorium.
And the moratorium was overturned by a federal judge, is that correct?
A federal trial judge ruled it illegal. That went before the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, and on a 2-1 decision, they upheld the trial judge. The Interior Department immediately, within a few days, issued a subsequent moratorium. So they made it very clear that you can keep going to court all you want to, but if you win in court, we're just going to issue another moratorium. So,
well, how can they issue a moratorium that's different than the first one and have it stick? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me that they're able to just, I mean, if they've been told the moratorium's illegal, how can they impose another moratorium?
Because they took the initial moratorium, they went back and reworked it, and they said the court ruling was based on these factors, and we're addressing those factors. So I guess if you file suit and challenge those factors, they'll issue a different moratorium based on further factors. It's very frustrating for folks who, in Louisiana, who's seeing a way of life disappear when that happens. But again, the federal government is obviously very firm that they're going to keep this moratorium going forward at this juncture.
On this issue, anything else I should have asked you?
It covers it pretty well.
The one thing that I was asked about was what's the makeup of Gulf Citizens United? Is it a diverse group or who's involved?
Well, we're just forming it. Like I said, it came out of a meeting that we had with local chambers of commerce and trade associations from around Louisiana. All the local government organizations were represented as well. I mean, this is something that whether you're private sector or public sector in this state right now, everybody's on the same page about. We just can't afford to have our economy destroyed by this moratorium. So we're in the process now of asking those organizations to send out letters of invitation to their members to join the group. That's being processed this week. So it's really the nuts and bolts are really being put together right now.
Anything you'd like to say in closing?
Looking forward to the big rally in Lafayette on Wednesday. Hopefully the national media is going to be there to start getting the message out about how deeply the citizens of Louisiana feel about this and how really concerned and afraid we are for the economic well-being of our workers in this state and the security of the nation's energy supplies.
Thank you, Dan. Our guest has been Dan Juneau, president of Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, talking about the Gulf Oil Moratorium. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.